Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy, my channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to look at uranium, do some technical analysis. This is the kind of the normal technical analysis that I normally do on a day-to-day update. Give you my opinion. Again, this is just my financial opinion. It should not constitute for financial advice or anything like that. We're looking at, remember, we squeezed up into an ascending wedge. That's what the theme is for the majority of these companies. They dropped out of the wedge and we're going through what I would consider to be a consolidation phase. So let's look at the charts. I'll show you what that consolidation phase kind of looks like, how it's progressing, and what that ascending triangle looked like when we broke out of it. So here we go. Here is uranium technical analysis. It's URNM, North Shore Global Uranium Mining. We're coming back and forth, and we squeezed up into this ascending wedge. We broke to the downside with some pretty good volume here. You can see the volume at the bottom here, this big red volume stick. We popped lower, signaling. This was a signal. Well, there's a couple of things when you look at these charts. When you look at them, anything that squeezes up like this to a point usually means it's going to go in the other direction. Usually. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a step change somewhere. We pulled back down through here. We came on up, and then we're basically have these small little down days all through here. This is contracting, and what the contraction means is that the buyers are starting to equal the sellers. That's why the days, each of these candlestick days, are starting to contract in size. These, it's a couple of big ones here, and now they're contracting up a little bit. So I'm expecting, hopefully, to see a large move, hopefully to the upside is what we're looking for. And I think it's going to be the upside for this very reason. We've got the large up candlesticks, which means we have good buying pressure. And the selling pressure, measured by the down days and how large these candlesticks are not great. There's no seller response to this move up. So we get another large candlestick up with a bullish engulfing pattern. We come on back, and this thing is chopping sideways, I think basically leaking the sellers out of it, where we're getting to a buyer-seller's equilibrium. We have pulled back from this pattern. This pattern, distance is about from here to here. We drop it down. It's probably fulfilled in terms of its distance going down. We do have some support back here. Maybe 47, 50, 50. I don't think we're going to get that low because of these bullish engulfing patterns. Bullish engulfing means that the candlestick engulfs the one before it. It is a higher statistical probability that the stock is going to reverse higher from a downtrend, and there's also bearish engulfings to reverse lower. But this looks like it's forming up. It looks like it's consolidating, and it looks like we're getting closer to a move higher. That's what it looks like to me. Camco's doing the same thing. There's some traits that I really like about it over in this section. We still need the buyers to come in here, and we still need the overall market to be, somewhat normal. If the overall market were to crash on us, it could pull down all the sectors with it. Obviously, keep that in mind. But we're coming sideways. We got the nice big up day and two small candlestick down days. Usually, I think that is an indication where we could go higher. Next gen energy, again, we've got the same pattern, squeezing on up, sold off with some volume, came back down. I'd say right here it started to change a little bit. We got some nice good up days, some good buying pressure coming through. Nice little bullish engulfing. It's a pretty small one though. Again, it looks like it's carving out a decent consolidation pattern. And what a consolidation pattern is, it's consolidating sideways to slightly lower. It's a pullback / consolidation period where the stock isn't moving upward. This is a consolidation period from here, and we're still in it. But the good thing is, as we're going across, I do see some pretty large candlestick up days. I see some bullish engulfing right here. And it's small down days. It seems like the sellers can't really push this lower. They're tired. So the buyers, I think, are going to outweigh the sellers. Here's global atomic. We're kind of just doing this arc pattern. Now, is this arc going to continue lower? It could. It very well could. So we'd have to look to see if this arc continues lower. We've got energy fuels here just moving sideways, consolidating just like everything else. We've got deep yellow. Again, we're just consolidating sideways over time. We do have a nice, good buying hammer pattern here. When it came down, it popped right back higher. That's a good signal there. And I think we're going to continue to see sideways movement until we don't. It's got to break either up or down here at some point. Bannerman's in that same consolidation sideways pattern here. And usually a stock, if you're not really consolidating downward, if it's just going sideways, that usually is a sign of strength, not weakness during its consolidation. And if it consolidates upward, that's even stronger, which this one's consolidating upward as we go. And we'll see if you know, a little bit of a bearish engulfing, but the overall sector looks pretty strong. Overall, a lot of these companies look like they're holding. So we'll see if that continues. Base load's hanging on. It's had a nice little pullback here. It's right at its support level. Let's see if this holds. Now, if this breaks lower, we could see a shot lower here. We very well could. Hopefully we don't, but right now it's just hanging on to support. Forces Metals, looks like this thing's trying to find its footing. Here's the bearish engulfing pattern right here that I see that we're started the pullback. We got some good buying pressure stepping in, good volume there, wow. Nice little pullback again. A low that's higher than this low here, so it's a higher low. Hopefully we can create this higher low. We broke this downtrend, and hopefully we can break about 95 cents, and I think we'll be in a new uptrend. Forum Energy Metals, again, we're in this pullback mode still, but the lows are ceasing to exist, hopefully. So we'll see if this holds. If it drops below about 30 cents here, we could see a move lower. Boss Energy, it's also doing the consolidation. It looks like its overall volatility, day-to-day volatility, is really cleaned up. Like it's growing up and the volume's starting to kick in a little bit more, where it's really starting to get a cleaner pattern over here. Cleaner daily signals. Peninsula Energy, one thing to notice here, like these pull-ups, we're almost in these consolidation pullback periods longer than we are moving on up. It seems like everything happens at once. And this is kind of hard to time because it all just happens in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days pop, and then it basically slow leak off of sellers. But I'm looking for a break of this trend line. That's where I'm looking to see if we can break. Blue Sky Uranium, another one that's just been moving on sideways in this downward channel. We got to break either up or down. It looks like it muted sideways for a little bit, going sideways here at about 15.5 cents. A little bit of buyers down here. Hopefully that can hold. And then Laramide Resources coming on up. We've got this like expanding wedge type pattern, and we're just moving sideways in the pattern. If this is a valid, I mean, it looks like a valid pattern here, but we're just moving sideways. So overall, uranium, the buyers still look like they're in control in the very short term. Let's see if they can maintain that control. Again, uranium, it's like a little bit below 60 pounds to 1 ounce gold. Maybe it's 56 or 55, something like that. Whatever it is, I'd have to look, but it's still incredibly cheap. It's an anomaly in history. With uranium that cheap, I think that this sector is a very good long-term hold. Now, in the short term, these things fling all around. You gotta have cojones to hold in there because the volatility is quite dramatic in some of these companies. You could see price swings of a few 100% on the upside, and then it pulls back 50, 60% from its high downward. So I'm holding on to it. I think that the market conditions are good, and I think there's better days ahead of us, given that this bull market and where it's at positioned wise in terms of commodities to stocks ratios, in terms of valuations. I think we could have very good asymmetric bets in uranium where we've got large upsides and then the downside is limited. And what I mean by upside, I'm saying we could do 5x, 10x, 20x type returns in some of these companies. And your downside, if you want to go 100% downside, your downside is 100%. You could lose everything, but your upside is many multiples higher than that. That is called an asymmetric bet. And that's what I look for. I don't think all these companies are going to go to zero. They've already endured one of the worst bear markets of probably anything out there. So these are the survivors. And I think if they're going to continue to survive, hopefully. And if the market conditions improve for uranium, I think there's a lot of very good potential here. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.